Let's get to the important stuff, Albert. Myles Garrett has a very, very legitimate chance. He needs 5 sacks, I think, in the next 6 weeks to break the single season sack record at a time where this is one of the worst Browns offenses in recent memory, and this
Yep.
team almost never plays with a lead. I think that is one of the most phenomenal achievements and puts him in the conversation as one of the 5 greatest defensive players in NFL history. If he accomplishes that feat during this season, this was a slaughter to the point where, Albert, it was so bad. And I watched this game knowing that I had to write about Shedeur Sanders. I've never seen an offense this ill prepared to face an elite defense. And Chip Kelly was fired after the game because of this. I mean, you had Stone Forsyth one-on-one on an island with Myles Garrett. And let me just tell you something, Albert. Like, if you go back and you watch this, and go back if you have NFL Pro, and I'm trust me, I'm never someone to shill for NFL products. But you should buy NFL Pro because you get the all 22 access and you get to clip certain matchups. And so you can watch every Myles Garrett pass rush.
Yep.
There was a point in this game, Albert, where it's just like Madden on rookie mode, where you just go around the tackle right to the quarterback. You just like go woo, like Christopher Columbus, and just circle him and then go right to the quarterback. It was embarrassing. But take nothing away from Myles Garrett, who was beastly. He was glowing.
I mean,
game,
there was a play, one of Myles Garrett's sacks, where like it looked. It's like I think it might be the worst I've ever seen a pass rusher make an offensive tackle look. It was like he ran right by him.
Yep.
And it was like, oh my God. Like this is like what should happen with like some 5-star recruit that's playing like in like a small school league in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
this is like what Derrick Henry in high school looked like. You know what I mean? Like, and to see him do it at this level, it really is incredible. And I mean, God, I hope that like at some point he's playing for a real contender. And I hope it happens in Cleveland, because Cleveland's a great football city. And God, do they deserve like to have a winner at some point there, based on how important that team is to that region, despite all the losing. Yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett's playing at another level. We do need to talk about Shedeur, right?
Yeah. So what I did for I had to write a column about Shedeur after the game, and I put in like a little breaking news thing at the top of the column. And I was like, we interrupt your regularly scheduled Shedeur programming to just point out the fact that fucking Myles Garrett is going to break the NFL sack record. And this is unbelievable. And I've never seen an offense look this decimated and ill prepared to handle it. Let's get to the Shedeur thing. I mean, yes, Chip Kelly was fired. I don't think anybody watching that game could think that there was a cohesive plan on offense. I love Chip Kelly. I'm a big Chip Kelly defender, but I think this puts a lot of Tom Brady's early decisions under the microscope, Albert. You missed out. You swing and miss on Ben Johnson. You barely, you don't get him into the building. Then you make the Pete Carroll decision. He's on a short term. You pay $6 million for Chip Kelly to lure him away from Ohio State, maybe with the hopes that he one day takes over when Pete Carroll retires. I mean, now he's not even in the building anymore. And so, I mean, this thing is a mess, and I don't know if they know what they want at this point. So, I mean, I think.
I don't know. I mean, like, look, like I think that the roster was far away. And the roster was going to take time to rebuild. And this was never going to be a single offseason rebuild. And I do think that there's some push and pull there on Pete Carroll, who wants to win now. And, whether his age is a factor in that or not is a question that only he can answer. But I think there's obvious suspicion, natural suspicion that that's the case. And it's going to take time for them to build that thing. Now, I think they've got good people in the front office now. Like, I think John Spytek was the right hire as general manager, somebody that Tom Brady was together with in Tampa. So he had institutional knowledge on that one. But I do think a lot of it was like Tom Brady kind of like hiring people he respects. And in one sense, it helps on the front office side, but on the other side of it, on the coaching side, like he never worked with Pete Carroll. So he didn't really have the intricate knowledge there. That one gets pushed over the goal line. And, I I think when you fire two coordinators in season the way they have already, so Patrick Graham's the last man standing of the three coordinators that Pete Carroll hired. One of the big picture questions you have to ask is, do we trust him to hire the next group? And do we think he's going to get it right this next time around? And that's something that, obviously the Raiders brass is going to have to ask when we get to the end of the season. Has to ask themselves when we get to the end of the season.
On the Shedeur front, I thought that the game plan was hilarious. And the reason why is at every instance, Shedeur tried to take the governor switch off the car and to push the throttle all the way to 90. And I think that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees didn't want to happen. And if you think that the Browns' confidence in Shedeur can be defined by this, every time they got into the red zone, it was Wildcat and he wasn't on the field. Okay. They punted from the opponent's 27-yard line. After they punted from the 27, like Ross Tucker even said at the booth, he goes, I've never seen this before in my entire life. I mean, that's how bad the Raiders offense was, to be fair. And you're sort of playing within the flow of the game there.
Yeah.
But it was check the ball down, don't make any mistakes. And still, Shedeur would pull the ball, roll out, and fling it deep every chance that he got. And I don't. It's unfair of me to say that I don't see it. He clearly has talent, but I think that he's got to learn how to play in an orchestra first. And I think that there was a push and pull there that didn't sit quite well with me. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, they have the Niners next week, so we'll see how that looks. The one thing I would say for him is I think we saw enough to want to see him again, right? Like, I think, I'd be very, very clear on this. I do not think the Browns quarterback for 2026 is on the roster right now. Like,
correct.
And I don't know how much Shedeur can do to change that, but there's no rush to figure it out anyway. He's under contract for another 3 years. You don't need to figure out like whether or not he's going to be a quarterback in 27 or 28. I'm with you. Like, I think this was like the perfect Tebow mania type of experience.
Yes.
Where he throws a screen pass that gets recorded for 66 yards. And it's like Shedeur Sanders threw a 66-yard touchdown pass. Well, yeah, but it's like Tebow throwing the ball to Demaryius Thomas at the end of that game. And I think, was it Ryan Clark wasn't in the game because it was at altitude, and Ryan Clark has a sickle cell trait, right? And so there's a backup safety in there who fell down or something like that,
Yeah.
It does have that Tebow mania element of weird stuff happening sometimes, or that this game did. And I don't think he's going to be their quarterback in 2026. I think you're insane if you think that. But like, I think you did see enough to want to see a little bit more. And I mean, look, it's entertaining, right? I mean, we're here covering an entertainment product, and it's entertaining. So have at it, America. Have at it, Cam Newton.
So I think, once again, and God bless Browns public relations, this is going to be a test of their ability to just, hold the fort. Because here's what
just think of the quarterbacks they've had.
Right, but this Albert is
Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield,
but this is different. This is different, and it's different in a lot of ways. And I think that there's a lot of components to this. And I don't know if you were on the sections of Twitter that I was on last night.
By the way, they're still talking about the Browns quarterback situation on First Take.
It's unbelievable. But there are the same segment of the population that thought the Browns were not giving Shedeur proper reps as a second string quarterback are the same segment of the population that are now saying that the Browns weren't aggressive enough in letting Shedeur take the reins of the game plan and all that stuff. If they go back to Dylan Gabriel, I mean, the blowback that they're going to have to deal with and the drama that they're going to have to deal with it's so self-inflicted, but it just doesn't seem worth it to me. But the rest of their season, I think, is just going to be a migraine level headache. I just don't see any other way how it's not. I don't know. I don't know if you think it's different, but
no, I mean, that's the thing is they can't go back to him now, which is like, I think was probably part of their fear in doing this in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, was that like once you pull the ripcord and you go with Shedeur Sanders, like it's going to be really hard to turn back if he does even two or three things that are exciting, and he did two or three things that were exciting. So I mean, like, and look, like there were a couple of legitimate like good balls he threw. He threw the ball, I think it was to Isaiah Bond early in the game, right?
Yeah.
Then you had
Yes.
another one that was a good ball. The one to Jerry Jeudy that Jerry Jeudy fumbled, that was a good ball. But that he was wide open on that one, I think, right? So, I mean, like, look, like I think there's enough there where it's like let's see more against better opponents in a lot of ways. So, and I think the side benefit for the Browns in that is that, like, at the very least, then either they have something, or like if he does wind up looking the way that he looked in the preseason, then at least it becomes less of an issue for you going forward.
I mean, there was a couple.
Which, by the way, is why teams didn't want to take him on the third day of the draft. Like, we're seeing it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and then afterwards, people want to see me fail. I'm not going to fail.
Yeah.
And what did he
Yeah,
say to
like
Tiff
give me
Blackman after the game?
but you can see why a lot of teams are like, no, just give me Cam Miller from North Dakota State. You
Right.
know what I mean?
I mean, I love, Cam could throw a 60-yard check down. I think Albert Breer of Lincoln Sudbury could throw a 60-yard check down against that.
I could have gotten that ball to Dylan Sampson back in the day. Maybe I might be able to do it right now.